Good morning, everybody. As you know, usually on my channel, I don't talk about movie news very often, but when I do, it's probably Star Wars related. And today's no different, because yesterday, there were a few articles that came out that said director Rian Johnson, who's the director of Star Wars The Last Jedi coming out this December, was going to step out of the running of directing Star Wars Episode 9 for the moment. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, so a little while after the release of the film Jurassic World, director Colin Trevorrow was signed on to direct Star Wars Episode 9. And it came out fairly recently that just like with Lord and Miller when it came to the Han Solo movie, Kathleen Kennedy, Colin Trevorrow, and Lucasfilm had to break ways because they had creative differences. They shook hands, wished each other the best, and then parted ways. And honestly, the controversy about Lucasfilm and how they're doing this is certainly the topic of conversation. But this is not the reason why I made the video. Colin Trevorrow is out of the running, and many people, including myself, are there thinking, why not just bring in Rian Johnson to direct Episode 9? But then, like I said yesterday, apparently it came out that Rian Johnson has stepped out of the running to direct Episode 9. And here's why I think it might be a mistake and why Rian Johnson should be the person to direct this film. First of all, Rian Johnson is a phenomenal director and storyteller. We found that out with Brick and Looper, and if you haven't seen both of those films, you should check them out because they have great insights about humanity, and Looper happens to have my favorite use of time travel since Back to the Future. But the biggest reason why I think Rian Johnson should take over is because he was in charge of The Last Jedi when we lost Carrie Fisher, and that threw everything into a tailspin. But through all the chaos and tears, Rian Johnson and his team were able to come together with Lucasfilm and find a solution to end Star Wars The Last Jedi properly, and the movie looks like it's going to be amazing from the marketing we're getting. My point here being, with the fact that Carrie Fisher died before the end of production with Star Wars The Last Jedi, Rian Johnson and his team were able to come up with a conclusive ending for the film. And while it might seem small and insignificant to change how the ending of a film works, the fact is, if Rian Johnson put such an ending on this after the death of Carrie Fisher, we're gonna have to look at the dichotomy between Luke, Rey, and Kylo Ren and see what that will be like moving forward now that Carrie Fisher is gone. And more than likely, there are going to be a lot of questions unanswered at the very end of The Last Jedi, and I don't really feel comfortable with any other director taking control and answering those questions because of everything that happened between The Last Jedi's production, Carrie Fisher's death, and Rian Johnson last year. I don't know if he's going to, but I really think Rian Johnson should reconsider into joining the running to direct Star Wars Episode 9. But honestly, I want to know what you guys think. Do you guys believe Rian Johnson should direct Episode 9, or are you one of those people who's like, you know, he's a really good director, but I want to see somebody else take control of the last film in this new trilogy? Whatever your thoughts are, leave them down in the comments below because that's how we can get a conversation started. And honestly, I don't know about you, but this is a topic that is very, very interesting to me. Because after all, it is what you guys say that matters, and if you like what you've seen here and you want to see more, click right there and subscribe and become part of the fray of nerds who love cinema. You all have a fantastic day, and may the Force be with you.